It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 1986 edition of the Purdue University Newsreel. You will be able to share with us in an oral and visual way the accomplishments of the past year. For over a century, we have been known for our achievements in the engineering disciplines. You're looking at our entry into the 21st century and the new programs in Purdue engineering, which will be housed in the addition for the electrical engineering schools and some 9 other disciplines within our engineering complex. We are enormously pleased that our programs will be enhanced by not only the provision of space, but by the funding for engineering centers of excellence in a whole variety of fields.
The year 1986 at Purdue University was one of momentum, one of change, one of building, one of achievement. Purdue's literal gateway to the 21st century was dedicated in the fall. Community Relations Director Annette Goben explains the importance of this new Visitor Information Center.
I hope that the Visitor Information Center will become the first place for the visitor to Purdue to stop, to find out how to get where it is that they're going. We have maps and friendly personnel that can answer their questions and help them on their way, sort of like the front door to Purdue.
The Visitor Information Center is located on the ground floor of the Northwestern Avenue parking garage, across from the new Electrical Engineering Edition.
Well, here we are at the new Visitor Center. Whether you're a prospective student, an old alumnus, or just a friendly visitor, we want you to feel warm and welcome as you come to the West Lafayette campus.
It's a great facility, and I encourage you.
The Visitor Center also operates guided tours with trained students, providing the latest information about the ever-changing Purdue campus. But of course, Purdue is not just changing in a physical sense. The university is also positioning itself to stay on the cutting edge of knowledge for the 21st century. This means continuing significant research discoveries, such as these 3 from the School of Veterinary Medicine. Now, humans are not the only ones who can be treated with arthroscopic surgery. Purdue veterinary surgeons are using this procedure to repair the damaged joints of racehorses, allowing them to return to running more quickly. 3 Purdue researchers have invented an inexpensive and easy-to-use electrocardiograph, which allows veterinarians to produce fast and accurate diagnoses of dogs with heart problems. Speaking of hearts, this tiny puppy became the smallest dog to ever undergo heart surgery. At the time of the successful operation, he weighed a mere 11 ounces. Attempts to discover new anti-cancer drugs continue in the Purdue Cancer Center and the Pharmacy School. Medicinal chemistry professor John Cassady is hopeful a new approach will bring success.
An approach that is based on research that leads to a better understanding of the cancer cell, and in turn the biology and the biochemistry and the chemistry of the cancer cell. And I think that this research will lead to the second generation of anti-cancer agents that hopefully will allow us to approach some of the diseases that are currently untreatable.
And yet another step toward conquering the common cold was taken as biology professor Michael Rossman's research group pinpointed sites on the cold virus where antiviral agents could bind, stopping the infection in its tracks. Knowing these sites will help drug researchers find compounds to keep the viruses from reproducing. With manufacturing processes becoming increasingly computerized, the need for trained technology graduates continues to grow. Purdue is helping fill this need with an up-to-date computer-integrated manufacturing technology laboratory.
With the advent of computer-based and automated manufacturing operations, there's developed a need for a person that's highly skilled, that not only computer literate, but highly skilled in manufacturing operations to make that connection between the craftsman and the manufacturing floor from a traditional standpoint and a design engineer.
Another project in the School of Technology has produced a new home design that is energy efficient and cost effective. The West Lafayette home was super insulated using conventional materials. An air-to-air heat exchanger was used to keep stale air from building up. The researchers predict this design will be used for all homes by the turn of the century. Meanwhile, this design was selected to become the centerpiece of the 1987 Indianapolis Home Show. Early energy usage figures for the home are impressive. The first winter cost just $159 to heat the 2,000 square feet of space. It cost only $30 to cool the home the first summer. Purdue is a place where scholarship flourishes and minds grow. For the students, it's a place where brains are transformed into disciplined minds and where visions become reality. Ideas encountered, theories tested, thoughts shared, all form a part of a university education. Electrical engineering student Fred Giles realized his dream of studying at Purdue when he was named the university's first Presidential Merit Scholar. This program provides full-ride academic scholarships to outstanding students. President Bering says it will attract cream of the crop students from around the country. Other students are attracted to Purdue because of the abundance of quality programs. For example, aviation technology. Purdue was one of the nation's first universities to train professional pilots. Today, this program continues to fly high. In fact, many of the students get the opportunity to help fly university officials to destinations around the country. While Purdue students do put in many hours going to class and studying, there's still plenty of time for fun and good old-fashioned horseplay. Lack of snow didn't stop these students from sledding down Slater Hill on blocks of ice. A Frisbee game provided a chance for some acrobatic enjoyment. Other students found fun ways to raise money for worthy causes.
This is a blast.
Oh, come on. Now scoop it back up.
Well, he could
finish him off.
open his mouth NATO,
Hey, is somebody gonna wipe this one?
The annual Rube Goldberg Machine Contest combines fun with an educational challenge. Following the cartoonist's example, students are expected to make a simple task as complicated as possible. The object this year was to get toothpaste onto a toothbrush. Obviously, neatness didn't count. The entry from the winning team included 26 steps and landed an appearance on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
It was the messiest looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, during the contest I said that.
Student life can be almost as complicated as a Rube Goldberg machine, especially if the student is an athlete. Student athletes must make time for studying in classes on top of their often busy sports commitments. Women's basketball star Sharon Versup says it's important to keep things in perspective and give the emphasis to academics.
Academics is the first priority out of everything. So you have to get your priorities straight and discipline yourself. You have to be able to talk to your teachers and tell them that you are an athlete and the things that you're going to be doing that you're going to miss that you have to make up beforehand or after.
This year's women's basketball team got off to its best start ever under new coach Marsha Reel. The team started the season off on the right foot by sweeping both games during a Thanksgiving trip to Miami, Florida. Gene Cady's men's basketball team finished the 1986 season with a 22-10 record and tied for fourth in the Big Ten, but lost in their opening round NCAA game against Louisiana State. However, with that momentum, the Boilermakers got off to an impressive 15-2 start in the 87 season and were ranked consistently among the top 6 teams in the country. And while the team boasted a balanced scoring attack, guard Troy Lewis again led the team with his outside shooting ability.
We have the players on the team, including myself, who can hit the three-point shot, but I'm not going to do nothing different to try to get a three-point shot. If it's there, it's there, but if it isn't, I'm not going to worry about it, because you start worrying about a three-point shot, then you'll take yourself maybe out of the game.
The Purdue football team finished the 1986 campaign with a disappointing 3-8 record. Coach Leon Burtnett prepared the way for a new era when he announced his resignation effective at the end of the season. The team left Burtnett with a game to remember for his last game at Purdue. Helped by a blocked field goal attempt by the Purdue special teams unit, the Boilers managed a 17-15 victory over bull-bound arch-rival Indiana University in the Old Oaken Bucket game. The sensational play of All-American cornerback Rod Woodson on both defense and offense keyed the spectacular win. The players and fans were also surprised by the new gold jerseys.
My wife,
Following a nationwide search, former University of Texas coach Fred AKERS was named to take over the Purdue football program.
we're very proud to be associated with Purdue University. You know, I place a lot of faith in traditions. And Purdue has great traditions, and I think that this gives us an opportunity to build. And I hope that we can go forward from this point and look forward to helping unite those interested people of Purdue alumni and just fans.
Purdue alumni returned to campus in October for the traditional homecoming activities. But at least one aspect of this year's homecoming was not so traditional. A video character called Max Headroom was Grand Marshal of the homecoming parade.
Max Cornelius Headroom here, and I'm looking for some atmosphere. Hit it, boys!
Homecoming this year also involves celebrating the 100th anniversary of Purdue's biggest cheerleader, the 400-plus member All-American Marching Band. The Purdue Alumni Association joined the celebration, presenting the Alumni Service Award to the band. The Purdue Alumni Band wowed the crowd as part of the homecoming halftime extravaganza. Homecoming climaxed a year of celebration for the band members. Perhaps the most difficult thing for the band to deal with is the uncertainties of the weather. A steady downpour at the Indianapolis 500 dampened the spirits of the band members, but that didn't stop them from entertaining the race day crowd. The race was finally postponed for a week. The band's celebration year came to a fitting close when several members welcomed viewers to a Christmas-time telecast of Good Morning America.
Of course, you'll have one that's going to fit your ear.
a little bit better.
Another anniversary was celebrated on campus in 1986, the 50th year for the Speech and Hearing Clinic. This clinic, founded by Professor Max Stier to help those with speech and hearing problems and to help train Purdue students to work with the hearing impaired, was renamed to honor Professor Stier. As springtime came to the Purdue campus in 1986, it brought a new look to the Purdue Alumni Association's 15-year-old Day for Women program. Renamed Purdue Today, the day-long program was open to the community, including men. Participants saw programs on theater, cancer research, veterinary medicine, and time management, and took a tour of the Life Sciences Research Building. Spring break is traditionally the time students take off to warm climates to relax and work on their suntans. But 60 students this year chose to soak up career experience rather than sunshine by participating in the extern program sponsored by the Purdue Alumni Association. This Student Alumni Coalition program matches students with alumni around the country for a week of on-the-job learning and work experience. The program has tripled in size in just 3 years. The roar of racing engines cut through the springtime quiet as the climax to the traditional Grand Prix week on campus. This 50-mile go-kart race, now in its 30th year, raises scholarship funds for students. This year's winner was Robert PITZER of Indianapolis.
I thought I was sitting pretty good, but I didn't want to mess it up there. So I just tried to take my time, make sure the line was on. We came out okay.
From the traditional blossom milk.
Alumni returned to Purdue to celebrate the 117th Founders Day during Gala Week. Class reunions, the class parade, and the laying of the wreath on John Purdue's grave marked the tradition-rich weekend.
Paved the way for the Indiana General Assembly to establish an educational institution on this site, which is now called Purdue University.
Aim! Fire! Ready! Aim! Fire!
It was a time to remember the past, to get acquainted with the present, and to catch up with old friends.
Talking to him in the parking lot.
The oldest alum present was Howard Taylor of Indianapolis.
Once in a while I find one or two that I remember as almost as old as I am.
I'll have to ask Ruthie or have
Otherwise, it's just quite an event for me to get back here for Gala Week. I love it.
From the University of Pittsburgh.
During the closing banquet, the Alumni Association gave its highest honor, the Distinguished Alumnus Award, to Edward Elliott, class of 1936. The award topped off his celebration of his class's golden anniversary.
Thank you very much.
5 other alumni were cited at the banquet for outstanding achievement, service to community and leadership, and service to students. These National Alumni Awards went to Mary Wine Keebler of Glenview, Illinois, Daisy Riley Lloyd of Indianapolis, Frederick Voss of Naples, Florida, Paul Worcester of Hanover, Pennsylvania, and Gloria ZIMMER of Bozeman, Montana. The May commencement added more than 10,000 new alumni to the ranks. In 4 separate ceremonies at West Lafayette, plus another 4 at the regional campuses, Purdue conferred more than 8,600 baccalaureate and more than 1,700 advanced degrees. President Berry gave the commencement address for each ceremony.
You have a Purdue education, very special. You have discovered self-knowledge, which has allowed you to become creative and sensitive beings, and valuable not only to yourselves and to your careers, but beyond yourselves to all you touch.
One of Purdue's regional campuses, North Central at Westville, earned the honor of being Purdue's fastest growing campus. Career and community-oriented programs, plus responsiveness to community and area needs, have helped North Central achieve rapidly rising enrollments. The 260-acre campus, located at the intersection of US 421 and the Indiana Toll Road, grew from its beginnings in the early 1960s in an old house in Michigan City. Enrollment for fall 1986 totaled more than 2,700. Graduating students were not the only ones moving to new locations. Animals at the Purdue Animal Sciences Department research farms were also in the process of finding new homes. As part of a 3-year, $15 million farm relocation program, the Agricultural Experiment Station at Purdue relocated its Calvert Beef Research and Teaching Center at a new site 10 miles northwest of West Lafayette. The move was necessary to allow room for the expansion of the West Lafayette city limits. An open house at the new site gave interested visitors a chance to view the most modern research facilities.
Head gates are so that you can take the feed away from them and then feed them all at once.
The leadership of Purdue took on a new look during 1986 as several major administrative changes were made. In the School of Veterinary Medicine, Dr. Hugh Lewis was named dean, replacing Jack Stockton, who retired. Lewis came to Purdue from Smith, Kline and French Laboratories, where he was director of pathology and toxicology. The summertime retirement of Executive Vice President Felix Haas led to the appointment of VARRO Tyler as Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. Tyler had been Dean of the Schools of Pharmacy, Nursing, and Health Sciences. Tyler was replaced by Charles Rutledge, formerly chairman of the Department of Pharmacology and Toxicology at the University of Kansas. Another summertime change took place in the School of Science. Kenneth KLIEWER was named the school's third dean. The former associate director of research at Argonne National Laboratories replaced Alan Clark, who resigned to become president of Clarkson University. The departure of vice president and dean of the graduate school, Strother Arnott, to become president of St. Andrews University in Scotland, led to the appointment of Robert Ringel as Arnott's replacement. Ringel is a graduate of Purdue, a noted teacher and researcher in audiology and speech science, and served for 13 years as dean of the School of Humanities, Social Science, and Education. Another alumnus and faculty member returned to the campus to become dean of agriculture. Robert Thompson, who'd been serving as assistant secretary of the United States Department of Agriculture for Economics, was named following a year-long search. He was a professor of agricultural economics at Purdue for 10 years. Finally, Thomas Wallace, vice president for academic affairs at Old Dominion College, was named chancellor of Indiana University, Purdue University at Fort Wayne. He assumed his duties in July. While these administrative changes added to academic harmony, music of another sort was performed during 1986 by the 60-member Varsity Glee Club. It takes more than talent for the Glee Clubbers to sound this good. They practice regularly to prepare for an average of 3 shows a week. Sometimes they sing an old-fashioned sorority serenade.
Always harmony, harmony. Let's all join in harmony. Come on and sing away the burning cares. A great new day will soon be here.
and other times they join with other members of the Purdue musical organizations, such as during the 5 sold-out performances of the year-ending Christmas show extravaganza. This year's Christmas show debuted rare turn-of-the-century shaker chimes donated by Purdue alum Howard Taylor of Indianapolis. So, as Purdue stands at the gateway to the 21st century, the year 1986 was one of building, of discovery, of academic excellence and achievement, of events both new and traditional, of celebration and of entertainment. Above all, it was a year of excellence.
The Purdue University campus is the touchstone to a great past and to an even greater future. It is here that brains are changed into minds, that visions take shape, dreams become realities, and individual potential is translated into useful careers. We thank you for your past support in emphasizing individual excellence for the collective greatness of a great university.